Hello, so today we are going to do this problem, which is part of Leetcode daily challenge. So the problem is we have an array and we have a positive integer k, and we want to return the number of subarrays where the maximum elements of the array appears at least k times, so more or equal to k times. Now remember, this is the maximum element of the entire array, not of the subarray. Okay, that's just something to keep in mind. And if you look at the constraint, we have up to 10 to the power of 5. So this rolls out any O(n) squared solution where we can go through all the subarrays and just check each one of them. So we can do that. But if you look at the problem here, it says we need subarrays and we need according to some condition. And so if you look at the past couple of problems, that's the same pattern, which is solvable with sliding window technique. And so we need to think about whether that we can do that with this problem, right? Now for sliding window technique, it's usually, the approach is usually pretty simple. We need first to find what is our expand condition and what is our collapse condition. Okay. Now for our expand condition, we can do maybe, because the condition is at least k times. So maybe we can say, let's keep expanding as long as this condition is not met, so we can get to it, because if we collapse, we won't get to this condition. And so let's expand as long as the count of the max in the subarray in basically, so sliding window is usually you have the window from I to j, and the expand as long as we expand basically means incrementing j. So expand here j plus 1, and then collapse is usually I plus 1, because we move I, so we reduce the window, right? So as long as the count of the max is smaller than k, we want to expand so we can have a chance to increase our count of max in the window, right? Let's call it I to j, in I to j, okay? We can just keep track of the value of count max, right? But basically every time we encounter a of j equal to the max, and the max we can take the max of the array. And every time we encounter it, we can just increment our count of the max, okay? And when should we collapse? Well, the only other condition we have is when it's bigger or equal to k, right? There is no other thing. So if it's bigger or equal to k, we can collapse. But that doesn't really work, because if you look at something like, for example, an array 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 3, and let's say, so the max here is 3, let's say our k is equal to 2. Now in this case, if you look, what will happen here is we'll keep expanding until we have 2 3s. But from there, we'll start collapsing, we'll start reducing our subarray until it's no longer bigger or equal to k. So we'll collapse until we have just this one. But if you look at that, that's problematic, because this subarray is valid, because the count of the max is 3, which is bigger or equal to k, so we should count the subarray. But with this approach, because we collapse, we won't count it, right? And so this approach won't really work. So what should we do? Well, like just problem solving, one approach is to see if you can take the goal you are looking for and reverse it and see if you can find the answer easier by reversing what you are being asked. And what's the reverse of what we are being asked here is basically if the count of subarray, the reverse is the count of subarray where the max appears less than k times, right? Our goal is the count of subarrays where the maximum appears more or equal to k times. And what is the entire space that is the sum of both? Well, that's just the total number of subarrays. Okay. Now, our goal here, since for each subarray, it can either be this or this, right? So that means basically we can actually obtain the goal by just taking the total number of subarrays, let's call that total, and subtract it from reverse, right? That will give us the goal, because total is either this one or this one. So how do we, is it easy to calculate the total number of subarrays? And the answer is yes, because let's take, for example, this array. How can we, what's the total number of subarrays? Well, another way to express the total number of subarrays is the count of subarrays ending at each index. So the count of subarray ending at index 0 is just 1. The count of subarrays ending at index 1 is 2 and 2, 1. So 2 subarrays. And the count ending at this index is this one, and this one. So overall 3. And the count ending at this one, you can try the same thing, is 4. And 4 ending at this one, it's 5. And it will keep going like this until for the n-1 element, it's n-1. And for the last one, it's n. Okay. And what is this? This is just the arithmetic progression, which has a formula, which is just n multiplied by n plus 1 divided by 2. So this is the total. We can just use this formula. And so now our goal is actually this minus the reverse count. Okay. And now let's see, is the reverse easy to get with this approach? Let's see. So let's just take this approach. So for the reverse, what would that be? What would the condition for collapse and expand? So the condition for collapse for reverse is going to be basically reverse here. Let's just have this here. It's going to be the count of subarrays where the max is less than k. So we need to keep expanding while it's less than k, right? So basically keep expanding, but when do we collapse? We collapse when it's bigger or equal to k. So this actually works with smaller than k. Why? Because with the collapse, we will eliminate all those that do not match this condition. And then with the expand, we'll keep going as long as this is valid, which is exactly what we want. So as long as we expand, we will keep counting plus 1. And with the collapse, we will just remove increment I to not count those, right? And that's pretty much it. So with this approach works for the reverse, and so we can just use it. Okay, so let's just code this up. So we need the length of the array. Let's call it reverse count for the reverse condition. And we need the total number. Okay, so total. And so we said total is going to be just n multiplied by n plus 1 divided by 2. The total number of subarrays. And this initialize that to 0, but at the end we want to return total minus the reverse count. Okay. And then we want to get also the maximum of the array, right? Because that's what we will be counting. And then we want to get our window keeps track of the count maximum, the count of max, right? And as we said in a previous video, the just template we will use for sliding window is we keep going for the right position for j, which is expand, where basically we check if condition, we update our window, which in our case here, it would mean count max plus 1. Okay. And then we do the collapse part, which is while collapse condition, we collapse. Okay. And then when we count here, because this means the condition of expand is valid, so we increment our count, which is this condition here, and then at the end this would be our result. So this is the sort of the template we can use, and so let's just have it here, and I'll just fill out what we need. So the count here in our case is this. Now what is the condition for expanding? Well, we expand, but the condition for actually updating our window is we need the value to be equal to the max, because we are counting the number of appearances of the max. And so in this case, what we'll need to do is if aj is equal to the max, we want to update our window, which is max plus 1. Now, what is our collapse condition? Well, we already said it's if the count of max is bigger or equal to k. So while count of max is bigger or equal to k, we'll keep going, but we also want to make sure our window is still valid, so I is smaller or equal to j. Now, how do we collapse? Well, we just check if I is equal, if the value at position I is equal to the max, we want to decrement, right, the number of occurrences of the max, because we are collapsing, which means we are incrementing I, so this value is no longer in our window, so we need to remove it. But if it's another element not equal to the max, we don't care about it, we can just remove it. And yeah, that's pretty much it here. We have our sliding window and we get the total. So now if we run this, let's see, we have the max. Yeah, sorry, we'll just make this A. We didn't define I, which we should do here. Let's see. Yeah, sorry, we shouldn't count just one. We shouldn't increment the ref count here by just one. Why? Because let's say we are, for example, here for this array. If we take this array, if we are at this position, for example, right, k equal to 2. Sorry, if we are at this position, which is k equal to, so the count of the max is smaller than 2, smaller than k. Should we count just one, or should we actually count all those ending at this position, right? Which are 3, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Well, the answer is we should count all 3 because all of them have 3, the count of the max less than k, right? And this is, we haven't counted these before because this is the first time we are traversing this position. So we should count all 3. Now, how do we get all 3? Well, this is just the size of the window, right? If we are looking, let's say, at this one, well, let's say we have one here, and we are looking at this, and I maybe is here, and J is here. Okay, so in this case, we want to, at this position J, when we are traversing this position, we want to count this one, we want to count this one, we want to count this one. And so how do we get the size of that? So that's just the size of the subarray, which is J minus I plus 1. And so this is what we should add here. Okay, and that's pretty much it. You really need to be careful when we are doing sliding window about this part here, because sometimes you need to just add one, but in other cases you need to add the entire subarray size. This case, because smaller than k is the entire subarray, is each subarray in this window has the condition is valid of smaller than k, and this gets accepted, and overall it should be O(n), because this will at most run for the entire duration of the array, because we have this I smaller or equal to j condition. Yeah, and we are not using really any extra space, just some variables. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for this problem. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.